called before Cove?
Queenstown.
Queenstown, exactly. Very easy one. For the bonus point, what was Queenstown called before that?
No idea.
Nobody? It was called the Cove of Cork. Okay? Do you know why it was called Queenstown?
The royalty.
Well, Queen Victoria actually visited here in 1847. Okay? So the British changed the name to Queenstown. Dundleary at the time was also renamed Kingstown. Okay? When Ireland became a free state, the locals changed the name back to Cove, spelling it Oscrailagh, C-O-B-H, and that's why all the Yanks, when they come into this area, think they're coming to Cove or Cobb H, but that's the reason. So it's famous for, first of all, Irish immigration over a 100-year period from the famine years. So from about 1850 to 1950, 6 million people emigrated from Ireland, 3 million left from here. Okay, so it's also linked with probably the world's most famous ship. So this one is for Josh and Tomas. What's the most famous ship in the world? Titanic. The Titanic. So just ahead of you there now, the old pier. That's the original pier that passengers would have boarded tenders to go out onto the Titanic. Where the Titanic experiences, that's the original building that was owned by the White Star Line. So back in the day of, I suppose, transatlantic liners, Cunard and the White Star Line's offices were based here in Queenstown. So the last 123 passengers didn't jump onto the Titanic here along the quay walls because it wasn't deep enough back then. They boarded tenders brought them to the entrance of the harbour, and that's where the Titanic had dropped anchor for 2 hours. Only 2 days after leaving Cork Harbour, she hit the iceberg and sank. Okay? Out of the 123 that boarded here, 7 travelled first class and second class, and 116 were steerage class. Okay? The cream coloured building here to your left, that was the base for the Royal Cork Yacht Club. So what you see in Crosshaven, it occupied this building, that was its headquarters until the 60s. In the 60s, as the club started to expand and sailing became more popular, it moved across to Crosshaven, because you can see Crosshaven is very sheltered from all directions. You have St. Paul's Cathedral. That's kind of a status symbol for the Irish Catholic Church here in Ireland, because so many people were departing from here. It was one of the last things that they saw as they left in search of new life, and mainly going across, of course, to the States and the UK. A lot of it was actually funded by Irish people who went to the States, made their millions, and sent money back to help the Catholic Church here in Ireland. Okay. Any questions? Nope. Right, go on a bit. So the green ferry that pulled out there was the one, she's gone off behind us, okay? That's the ferry out to Spike. If you haven't been to Spike, it's definitely worth a visit. There's a long history there. So from here, Spike Island is directly ahead, okay? Off to your right is Hallbolen Naval Base. And then we have 4 other islands in Cork Harbour. So, can you name them? Man, you can definitely give me 1 or 2. Hallbolen, Spike.
Well,
Ford Island, that's 3. Great Island is 4.
Marston's Island.
Little Island, you said there, didn't you? Little Island, yeah. And the other one is actually Rocky Island on the back of the naval base where the crematorium is. Okay, so they're the main islands. Loch Beg over here, where you have the refinery, was an island once upon a time, but that's joined to the mainland now. Like, I suppose Hallbolen is really as well by bridges, and Rocky Island for that fact. So the reason the ferry has gone around the island, because we're in the shipping channel right now. So the depth of water exactly here is, it's about 50 feet at the moment, okay? The tide is fairly low, but it's up to about 60 feet in these areas of the shipping channel. So any ships that come right in around towards Whitegate, up here, and then continue right up into the city. But once you go past the passage, it's a very narrow channel. Off to your left here, do you see the lighthouse on stilts? That's called a Spitbank lighthouse, okay? So the shipping traffic goes around that lighthouse. And the reason that ferry didn't go across straight to Spike is because once you leave the channel here, maybe in about 50 yards, there's only about 5 or 6 feet of water. Okay, so you'd never know. It's not deep enough for the ferry to go straight across, believe it or not. So in around Hall Boland Naval Base, in around Spike Island, if you don't know where you're going, it's very possible to get stuck in the mud. Okay, so you got to be very careful. So we're going to go out around the lighthouse here. We'll go past. So the refinery is where the chimney, sorry, the power station, Whitegate Power Station is where the chimney is. And then we're going to go past the refinery. That's Ireland's only refinery, so all of our oil comes into this point. And then we're going to go out past Fort Carlisle to the left. We'll hug that coastline, past Whites Bay and onto Roches Point Lighthouse. Okay? Josh, was it too fast or do you want a bit faster? Okay. Well, we'll have to go a little bit faster.